Shabbat Shalom. We are going to begin with the song that is on one of the sides of your song sheet. If you're at home tonight, I don't believe you have this song sheet at home, but I will feed you words for a couple of things that we're singing, including this one that you may not have in front of you. This song is Olam Chesed Yibaneh, a world of kindness and mercy we will build. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. 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 I will build this world from love. I will build this world from love. Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. And you must build this world. And you must build this world from love. Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. And if we build this world, and if we build this world from love, Yalalai, 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 then God will build this world. Then God will build this world from love. Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. 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 Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. Shabbat Shalom. You can take a moment at this time to greet those that are around you, that may be behind you or in front of you. If you're online, we wish you Shabbat Shalom as well. We turn to page 12 as we begin with Psalm 95, Lechu Niranina. Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Ladonai. Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu Nekadma, Fana Betoda. Naria, Naria, Letzur Yishenu, Bizmirot Naria lo. Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Ladonai. Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Lechu Niranina, Ladonai. We turn to pages 20 and 21 as we welcome in the bride of Shabbat, singing Lecha Dodi. יללה לך דודי, יללה לקראת כלה, יללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקם אלה, יללה לך דודי, יללה לקראת כלה, יללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקם אלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. יללה יללה לך דודי, יללה לקראת כלה, יללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקם אלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. יללה יללה לך דודי, יללה לקראת כלה, יללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקם אלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יללה יללה לך דודי, יללה לקראת כלה, יללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקם אלה. We rise as we turn toward the entrance to greet the bride of Shabbat. בואי ושלום עצרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יללה יללה לך דודי, יללה לקראת כלה, יללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקם אלה. יללה לך דודי, יללה לקראת כלה, יללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקם אלה. Perfect timing. We turn to page 26 as we join in Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkada veyitkada shemei Rabba, Bel maldivrach irute viamlich malchute. Bechayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv imeru. Yehi shmei rabba mivarach le'alam ulal me'al mayam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipahar v'trumam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalach shemei dekudsha berichu lehela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imeru. Amen. We rise for the Baruch Hu, page 146. We rise in body or in spirit. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We read together at the top of page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach she'arim uvitvuna mishaneh itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai tzivaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And on page 32. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amchavtam Torah u'mitzvot hukim u'mishpatim utanu limaditam al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu v'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה ועבדך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You may be seated as we turn to page 36 and join together in Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha V'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shokmecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We read together at the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. You'll find the words of this special Micha Mocha on the other side of the song sheet that you received when you came in. This setting includes the lyrics to the song We Shall Overcome, a song that is particularly prominent and appropriate for this weekend as we lead into Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. And so it's one of my favorite compositions written in the last 5 years, written by singer-songwriter Michael Hunter Ox. It's called Freedom Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedam ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osefele. Try that with me. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nedam ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osefele. And the river is wide, and the river is deep, and the river is standing between you and me, and freedom, but we shall overcome one day. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדם בקודש, נורא תהילות, נורא תהילות, אוסף אליהם. On these English verses, you can actually echo me on them, and it creates a good effect. It goes like this. And the river is fear, and the river is fear, and the river is hate. Together. And the river is standing between us and the gates of freedom. Freedom. But who we shall overcome one day. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדם בקודש, נורא תהילות, נורא תהילות, אוסף אליהם. And the river divides, and the river forgives, and the river's a wall, and the river's a bridge to freedom, freedom. But we shall overcome one freedom, freedom. But we shall overcome one day. But we shall overcome someday. Yeah, we shall overcome someday. And if we know about bridges, this is surely a place where we understand what that means. We join together reading at the top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. At the top of page 44. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי Shabbat vayinafash v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et hashabbat la'asot et hashabbat לדורותם ברית העולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. We rise as we turn to page 48 and following. As we move into our Amidah, we rise in body or spirit. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, Elion Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Hozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Zerat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atarav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechakel chayim v'chesed, Mechayei hakol be'rachamim rabim, Somech nofelim v'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Bichamocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech memit u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kidoshim b'chol yom yalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We continue silently through page 60, including the prayers of our own hearts. Please feel free to go at your own pace and to be seated at your own pace. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol hitz u'b'chol sham b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. We turn to pages 258 and 259 as we offer these prayers for our own country and for the state of Israel on this week also when we lead into a very momentous occasion of the changing of our government and think for the best for our country as we move forward. We join in these words first on page 258. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and to untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. And we join in this prayer for the state of Israel on a week where we have hopefully heard peaceful news that will set our state of Israel in a better direction. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Havayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu shebashamayim, Sur Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Smichat Geulatenu. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. We turn back to page 253 as we offer this prayer of Misha Baruch, this prayer for healing of body, mind, and spirit. We think especially of Alex Botkin, Dana Green, Tony Linder, Rosalind Richmond, Helene Kessler-Burke, Dr. Jane Siegel, Maxine Oringer, Malka Bat Tamar, Itamar Ben Meir, Murray Reinwald, Suzanne Gollin, Michael Butler, Harav Sarariva Bat David Vichaya Sima, Barry Fain, Manola Handler, Olivia Hibble, Esther Malamed, Andrea Blinn, Carmen Lazaro, Susan Tabor, Ann Gable, Tony Weaver, Rick Rosenthal, Mark D., Max N., Rose D., Michelle Z. If you are thinking of anyone you would like to include for this blessing, anyone of any faith or tradition, please feel free to rise now in body or spirit as you share their name with us. Think of Valerie Barnes, Ruth Allen, Harav Rachel Bat Shmuel V'Rachel, Harav Sarah Bat Yisrael V'Shoshana, Kenny Baum, Linda Stiller, Esther G. We think of all of them and for all of those who are in need of healing as we join together in this blessing. Mishebeirach Avotenu Lekor Habracham Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach Imotenu Lekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shleima, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who heals those in need. We will take this moment now to share with each other news of great things that are happening in your lives as we share our simchas. Who would like to go first? It's always my Oprah moment.
Okay. A grandson's bar mitzvah next weekend.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Where is the bar mitzvah?
At Rodolph.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not too far away.
Right.
Wow, this side is really quiet. Hello.
I start a new job on the 10th of February.
Mazel tov.
We had 18 families at Tot Shabbat.
It was a joy, yes. There was a lot of energy.
So we are excited to have my exchange sister from Denmark visiting and her son, Alfred.
Welcome back. We brought the cold for you. Oh, but a couple of you are going to, that's your mom, right? Going to Hawaii, right? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. All right. All right.
As you guys may know, I'm in charge of Maccabi, and this year we have 45 teens already signed up. We're looking to get about 100, so we're well on the way. And we're having successful info sessions coming up. If anybody has any questions, come find me. Also, coming up on April 6th is J-Serve.
Excellent. How old do you have to be to participate in Maccabi?
Maccabi is 13. Maccabi is 13 to 17 years old this year. We'll be staying on Pitt's campus. And then somebody asked what J-Serve is. It's a day of community service for BBYO youth and families in the community.
Excellent. I hope we will have some athletes in our midst and those serving the community.
We got back from the Bahamas on Monday, and we had so much fun. Like, funnest trip ever.
I had my first rehearsal on Tuesday for Into the Woods Junior at my school.
Awesome. What's your role?
Narrator for understudy.
Cool. All right. Any other good news? All right, we're going to join in this blessing of Thanksgiving, our Shehechianu. Giving thanks for everything good that's happening, even if it wasn't mentioned tonight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. I'm going to check online and see if we have any good news there. I forgot to look there. Yes. Sarah says she moved from North Carolina to Connecticut, then to Massachusetts. That's a lot of moving around. And Rabbi Sarah Perman says she's had wonderful neighbors who have helped her with snow removal and getting things into the house because she is healing after having an injury. Excellent. So ever since I first learned to translate Hebrew of the Tanakh, of our Hebrew Bible, I have always been enthralled with the language of its text and its layered meaning. I give a lot of credit for this to my first teacher of biblical Hebrew at Indiana University, my alma mater, my professor Aseng Chu of blessed memory. I studied with Aseng for 2 years. He was a scholar of Hebrew and Near Eastern languages who did the majority of his studies at Harvard, and I will mention he was ABD, all but dissertation, and we used to egg him on to go back to finish his dissertation, but he said that he would only do it when the moment called him to it, whatever that meant. But he passed along a tremendous amount of knowledge to us. In an era before iPads, Kindles, iPhones, we were expected to lug this Hebrew book around, this concordance. We called it the BDB, which are the initials of the author, and it weighs, I don't know, it weighs at least 5 to 8 pounds. It's heavy. Sounds like that. It was so heavy in my backpack, and because of this, there were many classes where I either forgot to take it or I conveniently chose not to. Probably more the impact that I would have to carry it around with me on campus for a good portion of the day. And my professor usually gave me a look when he said, you don't have it here when we're trying to translate, because this book, the concordance, is basically a very specific type of dictionary that lists practically every word that you would find in the entire Tanakh, and it explains the differences between them. And even in using this book, I will say, maybe this is why I didn't want to always bring it, I would still sometimes venture into some interesting translations. So it didn't always lead me in the right direction. But delving into the language of the Tanakh and the Torah often leads one to the interesting choices of the process of translation. And if you've translated from any language into another language, you know that that is a process. There are often multiple directions to go in, and as is the case in any situation where moving away from the original language literally can leave you lost in translation. If one asked me what my favorite word is in the Torah, I would instantly tell you it's the word hineni. Here I am. It's the singular expression used by Abraham, Jacob, and Moses to respond to God in a dialogue that is not just a statement of physical presence, but one that is wholly spiritual. My most famous phrase in the Torah, more than one word, is likely in this week's Torah portion, Shemot, which is the first portion of the book of Exodus, which we began this week. We began at the beginning of this week. In this portion, we meet Moses for the very first time, and I've been thinking it's kind of funny for us to say that as Jews. We're meeting Moses for the first time, but imagine meeting Moses with little to no knowledge of everything that he is headed toward, and that's where we are this week. With that said, a lot happens to Moses in a single week in the Torah. He is born, he grows up amidst the Egyptians while defending 2 Hebrew slaves. He then grows up a little bit more, he marries a Midianite woman, and then he encounters God. That's a lot. After Moses encounters God within the burning bush, I don't need to explain that story, he asks, "Who shall I tell my people sent me as their leader to free them from slavery?" And God responds with this phrase, Ehyeh asher ehyeh. This phrase is rather difficult to translate, bordering upon being not fully intelligible. It's a palindromic phrase, beautifully round, beginning and ending with the same word, Ehyeh. And it's chanted, I'm always very interested in this, it's chanted on very commonplace, basic tropes, which if you just heard them, they don't elevate these words through the chant alone. This is an interesting fact to know because by the fact that the chant doesn't illuminate the text, it rather leaves the words to stand out on their own. And that is entirely what is essential and in the moment here. Anything that would detract from the poetic beauty and foretelling nature of the text would also detract from this moment. The phrase Ehyeh asher ehyeh could be translated as I will be what I will be, or I am who I am, depending on which tense you connect with. God even shortens the name in a second mention and says it's just Ehyeh, I will be. The mysteriousness of this phrase has always been something for me that embodies something deep, spiritual, and as it is, all-encompassing. Just prior to this moment, Moses questions God and perhaps himself in this demanding moment where he has been chosen for this quest toward freedom. He says, "Who am I to go to Pharaoh to free my people?" Today, we would call this imposter syndrome, something that many of us, including myself, have experienced when we don't feel the full weight of our own ability to be everything with which we are tasked. This can be true even if others see us as fully and authentically capable. And in a moment like this, there's a balance between the humility one needs to be genuine to oneself alongside some element of ego which needs to rise to give us the strength to move ahead without overinflating oneself to a point of selfish pride. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, the former chief rabbi of the United Kingdom of blessed memory, teaches that those who ultimately possess great qualities of leadership throughout the Hebrew Bible are generally those who question their own value to begin with. This lack of superior ability is a sign of the humanity within them. Rabbi Sacks also notes that Moses is actually an outsider. He grew up in Egypt among the Egyptians, and he married a Midianite woman, which means he spent a decent amount of time in his life set apart from his people, both in Egypt and in the lands known as Midian outside of that area. When he says, "Who am I?" It pulls at his identity. And yet, in the heart of the moment, in seeing the need to fight for the one suffering for any Israelite, he is at one with his people. He too is an Israelite and always has been. Rashi, the medieval commentator who was almost always solely focused with the underlying meaning of language found in our text, speaks almost in a midrash, in a story, to say that Moses perhaps further responds to the words of God to scratch his head and say, I know that you, God, will be all that you will be through thick and thin in the future, but in this present moment, I don't want to preface future sorrows among my people. And perhaps that is what the Israelites need the most in their present moment. Moses is a leader who will be with them and stand alongside them. So for me, in the end, while I appreciate every step of the journey to fully understand this mysterious verse of text, even if we get lost in translation, in the end, I would rather just be led into the mystery. Let it be what it will be. Shabbat Shalom. I hope you have seen this handout of announcements of things that are happening. There's a lot of wonderful things happening in the next few weeks. I will point out that next Shabbat, and actually beginning on Thursday, we are bringing in a lovely artist and scholar in residence. That is Kathy Mansfield, coming from Cleveland. She is really a multi-talent. She's a law professor and will be sharing some of that on Thursday to begin with a lecture that's open to anyone in the community here on that evening on Nazi-era law. On Friday night, she'll join us here in our Shabbat service, where we will have some featured music that comes from her opera called The Sparks Fly Upward, which is a Holocaust-themed opera, and it's just a gorgeous work. So you will hear a little bit about that and about the background and her own personal story in creating this opera. And then on Saturday in the early evening, we'll begin with a light dinner, and then we will show a film version of the entirety of the opera, and it's worth seeing the whole of it. It's really amazing. It's an amazing work, and if you are not one who normally goes to hear opera, I will say it's very accessible. The music really draws you in, and when I listened to it, I listened to an hour of it, and I couldn't stop listening. So it really just kind of pulls you in, and based on the storyline and the timeline of events that are created by the opera, you will want to hear a lot about it. You'll see we also have a book discussion coming up in early February, and the J-Dame service is on its way, which is in honor of next month's Jewish Disability Awareness and Inclusion, when we will have a special service for that in February, but there's a painting event happening at the end of this month, and all of our other regular programming is continuing in the next week. Our building is going to be closed on Tuesday in anticipation of the really extreme weather. You will not see that on your calendar because that decision was just made, but you will be able to reach any and all of us via email or on the phone, and it's not ending any of our programming. Most of our programming will move online for that day, so stay warm, and we will continue with our service now as we turn to page 282, and we rise in body or spirit as we join together in Aleinu. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. You may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We think of those whose time of yahrzeit has come. William Belkoff, Esther Berger, Arnold Berman, Leon Betensky, Harold Binstock, Jeffrey Braver, Shirley Brody, Bernard Cohen, Henry Cohen, Anne Schiff Cooper, Anya Lee Vasilis Dobratz, Gilbert Elevitz, Lillian Werner Elevitz, George Fairman, Thelma Solomon Fetter, Beverly Fellman, Norman Gluck, Molly Goldberg, Martha Goodman, Stanley Gruber, David Karsh, Sarah Katz, Sylvia Kronzek, Evelyn Schaefer Latterman, Herbert Leibowitz, Richard Linder, Frida Love, Frank Lowenstein, Dr. Sheldon Lubau, Betty Jane Marcus, Wayne Meadowcroft, Herschel Merenstein, Joseph Alec Meyer, Norman Miller, Esther Newman, Lenora Paul, Rose Schneck Rosenblum, Audrey Ellen Rubin, Sam Schwartz, Rita Sidman, Maxine Shermer Schlesinger, Joseph Snyderman, Martin Solomon, Marilyn Spearer, Gloria Ruth Strick, Rosalind Dim Teplitz, Karen Wexler, Joseph Wine, Erwin Weiner, Paul Wheeler, Manly Witten, Mary Wolk, Charles Zawitz. And we think of those recently departed: Milton B. Hirsch, Adam Goodman, Sorley Scheinberg, Stanley Perelman, Bruce Antonoff, Richard Rubinstein, Barbara Gilman. If anyone is observing Kaddish or a yahrzeit for anyone I have not yet mentioned, please feel free to share their name at this time. We rise as one congregation as we join together in Kaddish Yatom in the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, bagala v'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlam Rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. Following our service, we'll join for our Kiddush and Motzi just behind you in the auditorium. For now, we will end just as we began on the other side of your double-sided song sheet with these words, Olam Chesed Yibaneh, a world of loving kindness we will build. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Olam chesed yibaneh, Olam chesed yibaneh, Olam chesed yibaneh, I will build this world from love. And you must build this world from love. And if we build, this world from love, then God will build. Then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Shabbat shalom.